Hello, everyone, and welcome to our November 2020 edition for First Fridays with Urban Farms. I'm Mike Hollis, the Urban Farms Director at Services for the Underserved. And if you've not joined us before, First Fridays is a monthly short-form live broadcast where we take about 15 to 20 minutes to highlight the work of urban farmers at SUS. Because we're broadcasting live, anything can happen, so if technical issues do come up, please bear with us as we work those out. But it also means you can interact with us. So if you're signed into YouTube, please feel free to comment and ask questions throughout the show. We love getting your feedback. So November is a transition period for urban farms as we shift from the warmer weather of the growing season to the cooler months of the off season. So even though we don't have summer temperatures, our urban farmers are still keeping busy. And for our broadcast today, our urban farmers at 3rd Avenue in the Bronx have put together a video for you to show you what our gardens and gardening work looks like at this time of year. If you've watched First Fridays before, or if you joined last month's harvest celebration, you might recognize some familiar faces. So we are going to begin by returning to the Bronx with Rowley and Carol for a segment we call In the Garden.
Today, I'm with Rowley, one of our urban farmers, and we're gonna get into the building. For the first stop, we're gonna get into the indoor garden and we're gonna do some cleanup on the gardening area. And now it's time to get to the backyard and continue with the cleanup. And now Raul is gonna go around and check all the areas and do cleanup if it's necessary. Now Raul is gonna check the gardening beds and see if we can start doing the cleanup in preparation of the ending of the season. As you can see, we still have some squash, so we are not going to clean up the beds. In the next bed, we have cherry tomatoes and basil. We still have cherry tomatoes, and the basil, as you can see, is so beautiful. So Raul is gonna do just a light weeding and cleanup of the bed. let's see how this next gardening bed is doing. And as you can see, we still have eggplants growing. Let's check how the peppers are doing. And as you can see, we still have peppers. So we're gonna do the cleanup in 2 weeks. So now we're gonna go around and clean the other areas, and we're gonna arrange the benches and the tables. And now we're going to the roof terrace. This is the moment that everybody was waiting. We missed the opportunity of see the roof terrace during the harvest celebration. Carol, one of our urban farmers, is gonna show up the roof terrace.
Well, it's really doing well. Quite a few peppers. We'll have some green peppers here. This is where we grew our watermelons. Believe it or not, we had planted one on this side, one on this side, and they started to grow. So we built this trellis, and they were laying like inside. We grew about 8 or 9 watermelons here. And the biggest one laid here. You can still see the imprint from where it was there. So we grew about 8 or 9 watermelons. They should be, I think, maybe ready about now. Had them in the ground for quite some time. And I did manage to get one small one. I seen that pull it up. Yeah, open up. And of course, we still get some basil here, sage.
What is it?
Yeah, sage. Look at all the rooftops. Look at all these rooftops here. Can you imagine what the city would look like if every rooftop had a garden on it?
Thank you so much to Carol and Rowley for putting that video together, and thank you to Wilfredo and Maria for their work in narrating and video editing that for us. That was actually a shorter edited version of that video for our live broadcast. So if you're interested in seeing more of that walkthrough, please check out the full video on this YouTube channel. You just saw some of the amazing harvests still available at our sites throughout the city, but you also saw a garden in transition to the winter. So as Urban Farms moves into the off-season, we're excited to be starting our winter programs. And I wanted to finish out today's broadcast in giving everyone a better understanding of what winter looks like for Urban Farms at SUS. To help in doing that, I'm happy to be joined by 2 members of my team who you might also be familiar with, Dan Danza, our Farms Manager, and Wilfredo Illa, Urban Farms Program Coordinator. So, hello you both. How are you?
Good. How are you, Mike?
Doing well. So Dan, I see you're taking advantage of the beautiful day and are actually out at one of our urban farms in Brooklyn. So I wanted to start with you and was wondering if you could let everyone know what sort of work is happening in our gardens during the winter.
Hey, Michael. So I'm here at Marcy Hart in Brooklyn, and as I think
Oh, I know Dan is on his phone at the moment. Oh. Yeah, so Dan's connection is a little choppy at the moment, I think because he's broadcasting from his phone and might be losing the connection a little bit, so we're going to see if we can get him back in a moment to talk about the work that we're doing in the field over the winter. But maybe we'll head over to Wilfredo to start as we're kind of taking a look at working out those issues with Dan. Wilfredo, for this year, it's really kind of been a unique one for all of us. So urban farms, like a lot of the other initiatives throughout the city, have been limiting a lot of their in-person group activities. And we're certainly expecting that in-person activities will continue to be a challenge for us this winter. So hoping you could let everyone know about some of the ways Urban Farm is offering its programming remotely.
So since the beginning of the season, we start with the challenge of getting out and meeting in person. So I started with Rowley some workshops. He told me that he wants to learn a little bit more of English. He wants to feel comfortable when he was working with us, not only with me, because my first language is Spanish like him. So we start that. So we've been, I don't know how many months, around 8 months, doing online workshop with Rowley. Not only specific about Spanish and like tool names and getting him more comfortable and that he have more knowledge about urban farming or carpentry or anything that we do. I've been thinking him to take different workshops like woodworker, carpentry, different skills, so he can feel comfortable doing the job. Because when you are working side by side, you don't have like that perspective from the outside that you can see what is actually going on. So I'm gonna continue to do that during the winter times. I yesterday was chatting with a couple of the urban farmers to see how we can meet using the platform that we're using, StreamYard or Whereby, or any platform that we can use to meet online, Zoom, and do workshop. But if that doesn't work, because we sometimes have challenges, not all of them have Wi-Fi connections. Like right now, Dan is expecting some challenges on the connection. So yesterday they told me that could be a situation, that could be an issue during the winter times, and I told them that maybe I can send them videos so they can send me a video reaction back. And I want to focus the trainings in challenges that we have. So I know that we've been having a challenge because we cover our gardening beds with netting, and I want to find a better way to cover the gardening beds without having to put the hoops and then the netting and take the netting out and put it back again. So I was chatting with them, and I think we're gonna, if we cannot meet online in one of the platform like Zoom, then I'm gonna send them videos and see what they think, because I don't want to fix the problem without them. It's we have a situation, but I was talking with guys that do it, and I want to get together to a solution that they agree and they want to use that solution. It's good for them. It's easy. So continue to reach out, call them, text them to see how they're doing, but get to agreement to what they actually want to do. That's the most important part. And try to do our best with the challenge to reach out to them. If they have issues, then maybe if we have to go in person and do something, but we will see how this play out.
Absolutely, yeah, and thank you, Wilfredo. I think that's really helpful to kind of give folks an understanding of what Urban Farms is up to after the season ends from kind of a very on-the-ground perspective. As Wilfredo was mentioning, looking at platforms like a lot of us are, like Zoom, or what we're using now, which is kind of YouTube Live through a program called StreamYard, or other platforms. Whereby is one that we've tried to offer programming, whether it's one-on-one coaching, whether it's any sort of activities to help develop urban farmer skills. Wilfredo mentioned a lot of peer-led workshops, so urban farmers that are leading crafting and horticulture workshops. And in fact, Thomas, who's our other program coordinator, isn't with us today because he's working with one of our urban farmers on that, in fact, for the afternoon. And then Wilfredo also touched on the idea of kind of building out our training curriculum. So if you've worked with urban farms in the past, you may know that we have done an annual in-person training curriculum for landscaping and horticulture and urban agriculture. And we're kind of taking this winter as an opportunity to build that as a digital resource that includes videos and activities that you can do at home to really continue that training. So thank you, Wilfredo, for all of that information. And Dan, I'm going to see if we can go back to you and see how that connection is over at Marcy now, and see if you can't tell us a little bit about field work during the winter.
Hey, Michael. Sorry, Matt. How am I coming in now?
So far, so good.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, clearly the virtual platforms, sometimes things happen, but hopefully this time I'll stay around. So the off season is different in this context, but we are still active. And I think, first of all, we really grow as long as possible. And we still have a decent amount of even summer vegetables that are still producing. And those are going to produce until they're killed off by frost. And I think Wilfredo's video demonstrated that nicely. Another thing that we do when we cycle crops, we will plant after we pull a summer crop, we'll plant cooler weather vegetables. So at a variety of different sites, some of the things I have, we have carrots growing, chard, we have some lettuces, and those, in some cases, you can actually overwinter. I did a video about season extension, and some of them actually overwinter into next season. Another season extension tool we have, of course, is our hoop house at Chester, which allows us to grow even further into the season. We also do a lot of pruning, especially of woody plants, trees and shrubs. We'll prune those when they're dormant, which is in the colder months. And also cut back our herbs, our perennial herbs like mint. Once those are kind of expended after a hard frost, we'll cut those back to the ground. We'll do cleanup like you saw. And another really important thing we'll do is we'll do a survey of folks in the building and folks in the program, see what they want to plant. And that'll go into our planning for the next season. So I work with all the urban farmers at the community farms to plan their crop rotations and decide what they want to try to grow in the spring. So winter is actually, it's pretty active. And we actually do some composting as well. We keep that going. It's a little bit different in the winter, but we're going to be talking about that, I believe, next month a little. So there's a lot going on. There's always stuff to do, even when the main growing season is over. And with the climate that we have and with the season extension tools that we have, we can usually keep some greenery in the garden pretty much all year now.
Thank you, Dan. Yeah, I think that's really great information, and I think that together with what Wilfredo was mentioning, between what we're still doing in the field and what we're doing in terms of online programming, winter is surprisingly busy for urban farms, I think, depending on what folks might consider a horticultural program to look like in the winter. And whether it's continuing to grow food, whether it's maintaining our gardens in their dormancy, whether it's something like creating online peer cooking and nutrition workshops or providing digital vocational training for our urban farmers. We're definitely looking forward to a busy winter. If, as Dan mentioned and Wilfredo mentioned, you've not had an opportunity to check out the other videos on our YouTube channel, definitely encourage you to explore them and subscribe for notifications when new videos are added. Carol mentioned, for instance, how the sweet potato harvest is happening right now up at 3rd Avenue. And we do have the Thanksgiving holiday coming up in a few weeks. So one of my favorite videos of ours at the moment is a cooking tutorial from urban farmer Rhonda Bell using sweet potatoes harvested from her garden in Brooklyn. Please check it out. If you have watched First Fridays before, you might know that generally we've done a short cooking workshop of some sort. And we were originally going to use that for this broadcast, but in the editing process realized that there was just so much great information. I really didn't do it justice to edit it down to the 5 minutes we'd be looking for this video. So yeah, if that's something that you're interested in, please check it out on our channel. It's really excellent stuff. And thank you to Rhonda for her work in making that out. Our channel also has recordings from previous First Fridays and from our Harvest Celebration event last month. So if you are interested in learning more about our initiative and seeing what we're up to this season, I encourage you to check those out. And again, as Dan and Wilfredo were mentioning, as we go through the winter, we're really excited to bring you updates each month through First Fridays on all of the different activities that we'll be doing. Including Wilfredo is actually mentioning offline that he's going to be working with our urban farmers to create an updated SUS cookbook. Next month, First Fridays is going to take on a little bit of a special holiday theme. So we're really excited for that. And as we go into January and February, Dan mentioned all of the planning and the work that goes into preparing for the spring. So really excited to have you continue with us on the journey through the off season and into spring of next year. Thank you all for joining today's broadcast. I very much hope that you and your loved ones are staying safe and well, and we look forward to having you join us next month for our December holiday edition. And until then, take care.